Hello, welcome or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz and I will be guiding you on this journey. We have a couple decks and as always, we're going to ask for consent from the deck that we're going to use for these readings because, we want to be sure that the deck even has a message, that it has the energy to give us a message. So I basically just shuffle until a yes or a no card comes out. And this is a deck that I was looking for. And it was like way in the back of this one shelf that I have all of my decks on that I've been kind of transferring to this other shelf. Anyway, in the process of finding it, a couple other decks went flying. So that was fun. I'm like, I know I'm not going through all of this just for you to say no to me. So, which it has the freedom to do. So, anyway, I was like, what am I talking about? I've been kind of doing a little disclaimer at the beginning, just so we're all on the same page. We have the star. That's a yes card. Okay, good. So, we'll save these two decks for another time. So yeah, disclaimers. I'm not a psychic. I'm certainly not claiming to be, but I know these cards and my intention is to give you the message as it is coming through on the card and as it's coming through for me. I always set the intention for the message to come through me, not from me. So however which way and as many different times that comes through, I do like to explain the message of each card because not only does it help me process my thoughts, but you have your own intuition. You're the one that's living your life. So no doubt you are going to receive your own message. Now, of course, be discerning. Don't try to fit a small peg into a round hole. Really listen to that distant voice, not the loud one, not that loud one that most of us have, but the one for me, it's always like off to the right back of my head. And it's literally, it's like just, it's neutral. It's confident. It's like, it's free of ego, emotion, all the things, right? So that is the voice that we want to tap into, even if we sometimes don't like what it is saying. Of course, if you haven't already, I would absolutely adore you. Well, I adore you anyway, but I would adore you even more if you subscribe to my channel. Truly, it is an energy exchange. And of course it helps me grow. So it's, just this circle of, growth, because hopefully these messages are affirming or confirming for you, because sometimes too, we just need to have confirmation or affirmation that what we think is going on is actually going on. And that way it frees up the mind space. It frees up our energetic space to be able to focus on the next thing. And truly, I do think that at least the messages that I give are more so along those lines, so that you can be like, oh, okay, that is actually happening. So what's next, right? Like, what do I want to do with this? What can I now focus my time, my energy, my everything on, instead of like staying in this this loop of, is this happening or no? And with all that being said, I know I also didn't get around to the human design profile readings last time around. Life, we roll with it. So hopefully I'll be able to get around to those this time, because I'm sure those were missed. And okay, let's get into the reading. Great. So this is a reading for Gemini, wherever Gemini is in your chart. I hope you're all doing well. Jupiter just left Gemini this week. Do you feel like empty nester? No, just kidding. Let's see, for Gemini. You have a little bit of a break, you know, just like with nothing really in Gemini for a couple of weeks, because then Uranus is going to be going into Gemini and it'll be there for, what is it, like 7 years or something? We have the 9 of Cups. I love that. What a beautiful way to start. Wish fulfillment. Dreams coming true. I kind of love how they're all napping too. Like maybe sleep is important to you. That is way too many cards. Even, you know, getting to a point of honoring rest. Like, what else for Gemini that's not a million cards? All these twos. We have the 2 of Wands, 2 of Pentacles, and the 4 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Queen of Wands, Justice, the Fool. Right, let me make sure. Let me just point out the things that are catching my attention right away. I want to do this so I don't forget. These cats are either huge or this person is tiny. But it's like, it's giving me like comfy pillow vibes, or like a beanbag, or, you know, just something big and fluffy and comfortable, and, you know, just feels almost like luxurious, you know, which I guess is kind of like a Taurus-y thing, but, you know, like comfy, soft, plush. And then in this 2 of Wands, you know, they have this bird cage over their head, but the door is open. So to me, like, it feels like releasing control, giving yourself some type of like freedom, breaking the cage, you know, something along those lines. And even these 2 like beams of light coming out of their eyes and focusing on this bird, you know, it's like focusing your attention, your energy, your motivation on something that maybe for a second, like, you weren't allowing yourself to do for whatever reason. Who knows? I mean, you would know. Right? But like, just with this cage being over their head, to me, that feels like, either like denying yourself of something, or really being constrained, controlled, right? I mean, just all of those words, and literally with the door being open here, like, you're not all the way out of the cage yet, but there has been a shift. I mean, it is a 2. So, you know, it's like baby steps. And then with the 2 of Pentacles here, which I'm not even sure if I actually said that this is a 2 of Pentacles, there's these birds on the ground. I mean, it kind of almost looks like they're wearing like a bird mask here too. Like, are you gonna turn into a bird? Just kidding. I mean, maybe, like, you know, some sort of like freedom, like, you know, setting yourself free, like, you know, I don't know, something along those lines. But anyway, so, there are three birds. Well, no, there's four. JK. There are these birds in the Two of Wands, and then there's these birds in the Two of Pentacles, but they're like, they have these, what is like the actual term for those? I wonder, does a book say it? Anyway, but like the tops of them are gone. So there's like this energy that's coming out of it. So like, again, this whole energy of like releasing something, it doesn't tell me the word I'm looking for. It just says an alchemist holds his experiments in precarious balance aboard a sailing vessel. But it does feel like releasing something, or even actualizing something into the physical world. That is a scientist with their experiments, so maybe it's even being more open about like what it is that you are experimenting with. I don't know, but anyway, those are just my initial observations. I know we kind of talked about the Nine of Cups already. Cups have to do with our emotions, how we're feeling about ourselves, about our lives, our environment, our surroundings, other people too. Nines are individual completion, so it's very much like your idea, like your manifestation of what is wish fulfillment, or having your desires met, or feeling purposeful. I wonder if it even says anything about these big ass cats. Accomplishment, pride, indulgence, rest. A woman is comfortably curled atop a pile of large cats. Okay. So they're just large cats. The Nine of Cups is a card of fulfillment. This card represents a state of pride, like that of acknowledgement of hard work. This card may also suggest that it is time to treat yourself and indulge in a high-ticket item that you have been pining for. FYI, this is not financial advice. Or perhaps allow yourself to relax. Spend a day in bed, slow down, and be happy with all you have accomplished. I was like kind of saying that, beforehand about honoring rest. Truly like giving yourself permission to do so. Like rest is just as important as the hustle, right? Like, I mean, even in fitness, like they talk about the importance, or some of them, I should say, whoever they are, talk about the importance of rest days. Even if it is just, it doesn't have to be like literal sleep, unless that is exactly what you need. Like if the desire comes over you to take a nap, and if it's accessible to you, then take a nap. If you don't want to get out of bed like right away, and again, if it's accessible to you, then allow yourself to stay in bed for another 20 minutes. It could be reading for fun versus reading for education or business, or growth, self-help, whatever. Because again, right, it's like giving your brain a break, letting your brain rest. Nobody says that like this is forever, like it's not like just become a slug or something, but like if you need rest, if you need a break, truly just to like reset your energy, like just to even fill your own cup back up, that is self-care. Allowing yourself a break, allowing yourself rest. And then the Two of Wands have to do with the actions that we take, the motivation behind those actions, creativity, passion, inspiration. What do you want to do, right? Like what do you want? Like what does inspire you? What does motivate you? The Two of Wands specifically talks about planning for the future. It could even be getting clear, like, what is this Nine of Cups for you? You know, like, what would be wish fulfillment? And maybe it's a time to even get a little bit more clear on that. Just checking back in with where you're at. Has something changed? Do you still feel the same about the plan, right? Like, do you still feel the same about what it is you want to do, what you want to, again, like put your energy into, what you want to take action towards? Even this focus here. And like there is a possibility that something in there could have changed. In whatever capacity, like maybe it's expanding on it more outside of whatever the cage would represent to you. Tradition, the normal way of doing things, even just the way that you have carried yourself, or the way that you have even like approached things, because that would feel like being boxed in or like caged up, right? So, and even like I keep looking at this bird here that's sitting on her finger, and I wonder if like something shows up for you. It could even be through the process of rest, because even like it's not just passive rest, right? I mean, it can of course be active rest, but it's the whole like getting quiet enough to like hear yourself, or like if you're constantly moving, then things, it's harder for things that are for your highest good to come in. Like think about like a jump rope. Like I was just like, that image in my head just came through, like, and having to like perfectly time, like energy wise. Of course this is all energetic wise, right? Like this is just how like my brain puts things together. But like imagine like energetically, like you're constantly going with your jump rope, and then literally like whatever this bird is, right? Like the energy that is trying to come into you, it has to perfectly time when to jump in, versus if you stopped with a jump rope for a second. Man, the book says future planning, progress, new discoveries, unburdening. A girl looks out of her cage at the free birds beyond the bars. And also, isn't that interesting how birds are usually a thing that are in these cages, right? But she's in the cage. The birds are free. Kind of backward shit. Although, you know, you know, this card is about getting out of your comfort zone. You can see what you want beyond your previously well-marked boundaries. We were talking about that. You can hear the call of the songbirds outside your cage, and now all you have to do is be brave enough to walk out into the sunshine. The first step might take courage, but the Two of Wands also signifies that you have the confidence and self-knowledge. You know what you want and how to get it. All you need to do now is reach for it. Mm-hmm. Both of these cards have talked about going for something. I mean, the Nine of Cups was more like indulging. The Two of Wands is like, reaching for something, going for something, which of course, I mean, whatever. I mean, that makes sense because, right? Like, I mean, cups, indulging is generally more attached to an emotional reaction, right? Like, reaching for something is more like taking action towards it. So, I mean, that makes sense. The Two of Pentacles, Pentacles has to do with our money, how we get it, how we save it, how we spend it. It's our time and our energy, which we generally tend to use in exchange for money. But where are you investing your time? Where are you spending your energy? It's your physical body and your health. Anything tangible, anything that you place worth and value on, the resources and materials that are available to you as well. And the Two of Pentacles talks about balancing. It is interesting, though, that they're on the ship in this like kind of turbulent water back here. So it's almost like trying to almost like use like practical tools or solutions to calm the waters, which again, water in tarot has to do with your emotions. So like if emotionally you feel just like, crazy, out of control, things are definitely stirring. I mean, maybe there's something that through this process is activating something within you, which is just like a different way of saying triggered. But, there's something that is activating here. And it's also like there's the using practical tools to either get through that activation or to calm your own internal seas. But there is like the balancing act here. And usually, like with this card, it talks about balancing responsibilities, adulting, having multiple things that require your attention, like either your physical presence, your money, again, your resources, your materials, your time, but also like being able to balance all of those things. The book says balance, distractions, neglect, relationships. An alchemist holds his experiments in precarious balance aboard a sailing vessel. Moving through life successfully is always a balancing act. You might not have the stable footing you wish for, but this doesn't mean you won't find your sea legs. The flurry of sparrows represents distractions that will require diligence to overcome. Traditionally, coins represent finances, but this card might speak of relationships that have become neglected as you try to improve other areas of your life. I mean, sure, but I just keep getting this feeling that maybe it is a time for you to focus more on yourself and trust like your relationships to like survive that. Sorry. I just startled my poor dog was sleeping. He's looking at me like, what is wrong with you? I'm sorry. I do find it interesting though how it doesn't really talk about like, you know, the what is coming out of these. Oh, there's a word. I keep wanting to say beacons, but that's not it. Is it? Because there is something, you know, like smoke coming out of those two things. So again, it's like, you know, maybe it is a time for you to focus more on yourself. And again, like not necessarily worry that your relationships will suffer to the point of like being irreparable or something. You know, it's like I'm sure people would understand. And it's kind of like one of those things if they didn't understand that you need to take some time to like it just balance out your own like shit and figure out like, you know, again, like where you want to like put your energy, what you're doing, you know, even experiment with things, whatever. Honestly, like if they don't understand that, then yeah, you know, like are those good friends, you know? Again, both of those are twos though. This could be feeling like you're in a good place. And again, with these being twos, like these are at the beginning of the journey, planning for the future. What do you want to do? Right? Like what do you want to put your energy into first? What is the thing that inspires you the most? The Two of Pentacles. Right? It's like now almost like scheduling time, showing up for it physically, right? I mean, like putting your physical energy into it. Even your resources and materials, should it, you know, need that as well. Even like incorporating that into your routine, because that would also be like balancing things out, you know. The Four of Wands at the bottom of the deck talks about stability, harmony, unity. It's like having a firm foundation, and it's also reaching a point of like celebrating the actions that you have taken thus far. There are generally other people involved with this card too, like other people, you know, celebrating with you, celebrating you. Even community, like this is that relationship part, right? I mean, it's like reconnecting with those relationships, or even those people cheering you on, being proud of you, you know. The Queen of Wands. I love, so over here in the Two of Wands, you know, there's these two spotlights, like whatever, like coming out of her eyes, and now they're in the lion's eyes over here. And she is riding on top of the lion. This feels very like strength cardy, just literally because of the lion and her like taming it, or, you know, being able to sit on top of it. The Queen of Wands also, like, it talks about confidence and expressing yourself, taking inspired action, really working with the energy of fire, honing in on your motivation, being inspired, bravery, courage, resilience, determination. It almost looks like this chick dyed their hair blonde. There could even be a change in your appearance, even to like humdrum over here to, bright, shiny outside, not a cage in sight. I love that. The Justice card, fate, karma. There's a heart on one side, a feather on the other. Integrity, right? Like, are you following your heart? This is Libra. The Fool card, a leap of faith, going for what you want. Beautiful. Dang, love this for you. I'm leaving it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.